You've been on the island for 3 weeks. It doesn't matter how you got here. The point is, you're here now. And being here means you know too much. You know the staff patterns. You know which buildings are forbidden. You know this isn't paradise. It's a prison with an ocean view. And one day, while you're eating breakfast, you decide enough is enough. You're going to leave. How naive you are. The helicopter lands at dawn. White sand. Colonial mansion. Perfect. Staged. Beautiful. But there are only 2 ways off this island. The helicopter. The boat. No commercial flights. No rescue option. Just 2 exits, both controlled by them. The staff moves like choreography. Smiles that don't reach eyes. Discipline that feels wrong. You watch a maid straighten a picture frame 17 times. Not because it needs straightening. Because looking busy means not thinking. Not thinking keeps you alive. You realize, leaving isn't as simple as arriving. 3 days in, you notice restricted areas. No signs. No guards blocking doors. But you learn quickly certain corridors, certain buildings are off limits. When you wander that direction, a staff member appears. Not threatening, just there, just redirecting. You notice how people look when someone mentions the mainland. Their eyes flatten. They change the subject. One man's hands shook when asked about boat schedules. That's when you know. Something illegal is happening here. Something serious. Something that requires absolute silence. Your first thought is clear. I need to get out. Now, you stop asking questions. You watch instead. The guards rotate every 4 hours. 2 at the dock, 6 on perimeter, 1 at helipad. The tall one takes a cigarette break at 2:47 p.m. Small routines. Exploitable, maybe. Supply boats arrive Tuesday and Friday. They stay 2 hours exactly. The helicopter comes Wednesday at dawn. 30 minutes max. You've seen people loaded onto it. People who don't come back. You trace paths through the island. From your room to the dock. You count steps. You note cameras. You memorize rotations. You're mapping a prison with no walls, just water. You plan in the shower because maybe there aren't cameras there. You assume everything is monitored. You assume that planning itself, if discovered, could be fatal. You need access. The dock master, Miguel, is alone between 3 and 4 p.m. You wonder if you could reach him, but you have nothing. No money, no leverage, just dread and the clothes on your back. The helipad is another option. Maybe you could hide in the aircraft, but the pilot always checks. The ground crew never leaves it unattended. You've watched 19 times. The gap never appears. You could steal the main boat, but you've never piloted anything. You don't know the waters. By the time you figured it out, they'd find you. Every day you wait for your moment. The moment security fails. The moment the door opens. Every day it stays locked. There's a woman. She's been here for weeks. One night, she sits next to you. You talk to her. Real talk. You tell her you want to leave. You say the island feels wrong. The restricted areas. The silent staff. The way phones don't work. She agrees. We should get out, she says. For the first time, you feel less alone. Then, 2 hours later, a staff member approaches. Just checking in, they say. That's when you understand. The woman was testing you. You've made your first mistake. You've shown them you're unhappy. You've revealed you're thinking about leaving. On an island like this, that's the most dangerous thing you can do. Everything makes sense now. The guards contain you. The staff watch you. Nothing happens without approval. Not a boat movement. Not a helicopter departure. Not a conversation. Every boat is accounted for. Every person is logged. Even the staff need permission to leave. There's a hierarchy of freedom here, and you're at the bottom. No one leaves without approval. Not guests. Not staff. Not even pilots. The island isn't just a place. It's a system. A machine designed to keep you here and keep you silent. This isn't a prison you can escape from. It's a prison that doesn't need bars because you can't get past the ocean. No public access. No ferry schedule. No nearby towns. The nearest mainland is 12 miles across open water. Even if you stole a boat, you'd still have 12 miles where they could see you, where they could follow you, where they could do whatever it is they do with people who try to escape. Beyond that is the question of who to call. What authorities actually have jurisdiction? The kind of operation that exists on an island like this has reach. It has connections. It has people everywhere. You're not just trapped on the island. You're trapped by geography, trapped by isolation, trapped by the certainty that there's no one coming to rescue you. Your freedom disappears gradually, not all at once. If it was sudden, you might rebel, but it's slow. A suggestion here, a redirection there. Certain areas are off limits now. Nothing dramatic, just calm explanations about renovations, about safety. You're no longer moving freely. You're following a prescribed path. From your room to the dining hall, to the beach, to the common areas. That's it. A guard walks near you constantly. When you decide to go left, he appears on your left. When you think about the dock, maintenance happens. When you consider the helipad, it's roped off. You're being herded, gently, firmly, perfectly. You think about the supply boats, not the main dock boat, too obvious, but there are smaller service boats that come and go. They arrive at sunrise, dock at the South Pier. A crew of 2 unloads supplies for 47 minutes. Then they leave. You think you could hide in a supply compartment, under canvas. You could slip aboard during the chaos, stay hidden during the journey back. It's not a good plan, but it's something. It's hope. You watch the supply boat for 3 days. You learn the crew's names. You figure out which ones might be viable. Then you notice something. There's a camera pointed at that dock. Your plan is dead before it starts. A staff member mentions a conversation you had in your room. Private. Just you. Just your thoughts. They know where you were last Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. They know you tried the East Corridor. They know you're planning something. Cameras aren't just at the docks. They're everywhere. In the halls. In your room. Maybe in the bathrooms. The surveillance is total. Guards appear exactly when you explore, because they've seen you on camera. Redirecting, preventing, never confronting. The island is a panopticon, and you're the subject of an experiment you never agreed to. Sleep becomes impossible. You wonder if cameras are watching. You stop changing in your room. You stop thinking out loud. Every meal, you wonder if something's in the food. Every smile feels like a threat. Every conversation feels like a test. Your hands shake. You lose weight. You develop stomach aches. The doctor says it's stress. He prescribes pills that don't work. You become hyper-aware of everything. The way staff linger. The way guards look at each other. The way powerful people move through the island like they own everything. Your mind creates conspiracies. Most of them are probably true. You're not paranoid. Here, you know they're actually after you. There's a man, staff. He looks different from the others. Less committed. More human. One day, he holds your eyes just a second too long. You understand. He's uncomfortable here. He wants out too. Over days, tiny moments. A whispered word. A note on your pillow. The helicopter takes people off on Wednesday at dawn. There's a 12-minute gap when the logistics coordinator is in his office. Hope appears for the first time. Maybe there's a way out, but you've already made one mistake. You're careful now. You don't commit. You don't say yes. You just listen and wonder, is he helping you or testing you? If you try and fail, you'll disappear, like the people they load onto helicopters. You try everything. Phone, internet, radio, signal. The phones don't work. The internet is monitored. Every website gets flagged. Try to email and a staff member appears within the hour asking why. It's a bubble, a sealed environment where nothing gets in or out without permission. You can't send an SOS. You can't call for help. There's a radio in the main office. You try to get to it once. A staff member stops you before you're within 20 feet. You're completely cut off. The outside world might as well not exist. The ally mentions it carefully. Next Wednesday, the helicopter, early morning. There will be a moment when fewer guards are present. When the logistics coordinator is in his meeting, he doesn't tell you to do it. He just tells you there will be a moment. You prepare mentally. What if they catch you? What if the moment doesn't come? What if it's a trap? You decide that being caught trying to escape might be better than staying. Your mind is breaking. The isolation is unbearable. The knowledge of what this place is crushing you slowly. Wednesday morning arrives. You're ready. Then a staff member comes to your room. They need your help. An important guest is arriving. It's not a request. You can't refuse. You watch the helicopter land at dawn from a window. Your chance doesn't come. Or maybe it was never real. They keep you busy. Tasks, errands, things that keep you occupied and visible. This is how they control you without force. Not by locking doors. By making it impossible to be in the right place at the right time. Escape isn't about finding a gap. It's about not giving them reason to close all the gaps permanently. Someone powerful mentions something about your past. A detail. Something personal. He says it casually. He knows exactly who you are, where you come from, what you care about, what you fear. Your mom's name, your hometown, the reason you took this job, how much debt you were in. All of it. You're not just imprisoned on this island. You're imprisoned through information. They know your family. They know your vulnerabilities. They know exactly what to threaten. If you try to escape, what happens to your family? What happens to everyone you love? The threat doesn't need to be stated. He just smiles and says, "We know you." The following week, you try anyway. The supply boat is at the dock. The crew is distracted. You move toward the South Pier. You get 10 feet. A staff member appears. Not aggressively, just there. "Where are we going?" They ask pleasantly. "I'm just walking," you say. "That's good. Let's walk together though. Come on." There's no confrontation, no force, just control. You're not leaving. They're always watching. You understand the message. Even your attempts have been anticipated. You stop being careful after that. What's the point? They know you want to leave. You take bigger risks. Talk to the ground crew. They avoid you. Try to bribe the dockmaster. He reports it immediately. Try to find another way out. There isn't one. You're losing weight. Your hands shake constantly. Your sleep is fractured nightmares. Every sound could be someone coming for you. Time is running out. You feel it. A decision has been made. Maybe they're going to move you. Maybe they're going to disappear you. Maybe they're going to do what they do with people who cause problems. They trust you more now. They start allowing you into deeper parts of the island. The administrative building, the East Wing, the offices where operations happen. It feels like progress, like you've passed a test, like maybe you have access now. But with every new area comes new horror. And that horror makes you understand why everyone here looks broken. Why escape isn't possible. Because trying means becoming a liability. And liabilities get erased. You see things, files, documents, photographs, things that confirm everything you suspected and worse. The island isn't a retreat. It's an operation. With records and organization and people whose job is making sure nothing leaks out. You understand why no one talks. Why the staff is disciplined. Why people disappear. Because they've seen what you've seen. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Your situation isn't casual imprisonment anymore. You're not just trapped. You're a witness. And witnesses are handled. There's a groundskeeper. A woman who used to be a guest. A man from logistics. All tried to leave. All failed. You see it in their eyes. The breaking. The acceptance. They've been here too long. Seen too much. The groundskeeper tried to steal a boat. They caught her. They didn't punish her. They just reminded her about her daughter back home. About what could happen to a daughter whose mother isn't there. The woman tried to contact authorities. They intercepted it, showed her photos of her family, explained calmly what would happen if she ever did it again. Their silence is the warning. They know exactly what they're up against. A visitor arrives. Maybe a journalist. Maybe an investigator. Maybe something else. He seems out of place. He asks questions actual guests don't ask. He documents things. He makes eye contact intentionally. You consider asking for help. Slipping him a note, but by now you know better. Reaching out for help, showing desperation, is the fastest way to disappear. What if he's not here to help? What if he's here to test you? What if the moment you try to contact him is the moment they decide you're too much of a liability? Your mind starts breaking, slowly, piece by piece. You stop sleeping. You stop eating. You can't distinguish between real and paranoia. Here they're the same thing. You have conversations with people who aren't there. You write letters you'll never send. You plan fantastical escapes, swimming to the mainland, building a raft. Your hands shake, your eyes twitch. You're fragmenting under the weight of knowing too much and being unable to do anything. The staff notices. The doctor visits more often. The pills are different now. You don't know if they help or just keep you docile. You take them anyway. Refusing medication is a sign of instability. And instability is dangerous. Someone powerful sits down with you. Important. Someone you've rarely seen. He doesn't threaten you. He's too sophisticated. He just tells you a story. About a man who tried to escape. About what happened to him. About what happened to his family. He tells it like ancient history. Like it couldn't apply to you. Like he's just making conversation. But every word is a threat. Every detail is a promise of what will happen if you try. He stands up and puts a hand on your shoulder. I know you understand, he says. Your last shred of confidence is destroyed. You realize completely that escape isn't a possibility. It doesn't exist. This island isn't the only one. This operation isn't isolated. It's a system, a machine designed to function regardless of any single person trying to escape. There are people in power, people with connections, people who protect this place. The reach extends beyond the island, into government, into law enforcement, into places where normal people have no power. Escape isn't just physical, it's political, it's institutional. It's fighting something so much bigger than you that resistance feels absurd. Even if you made it off the island, who would believe you? Who would protect you? What authority could stop something this organized? You create one last plan anyway, not because you think it will work, but because not planning is a slow psychological death. It's based on timing and distraction. A 1% chance is better than 0%. The helicopter, Wednesday, dawn. But this time you're not hiding. You walk right onto it, open, visible, confident, like you belong there. The kind of boldness that makes guards second-guess themselves. It's insane. It's impossible. It's the only option left. The night before your planned escape, you see everything clearly. How the system works. How it all connects. Guards report to the coordinator. Coordinator reports to security chief. Security chief reports to the money people. Everyone knows everyone. Everything is documented. Nothing happens without permission. There's no secret exit. There's no gap. The fence isn't physical. The fence is fear. The fence is leverage. The fence is knowing that leaving means destroying everyone you care about. Escape feels impossible. And maybe it is. Your ally doesn't show up for work. A new man takes his place. Younger, more alert, more serious. No one mentions the ally. It's like he was never here. Erased, removed. You understand the message. Everyone is replaceable. Everyone is expendable. Hope is dangerous because hope inspires resistance. Fear reaches its peak because you've run out of time. Because tomorrow is the Wednesday you've planned for. Because your moment is here. Days feel longer. You're not the same person anymore. The person who arrived was hopeful, naive, human. This person is something else. Something harder. Something broken. Something that understands that survival isn't the goal anymore. Freedom is. You've moved past fear. You've moved into something quieter. Acceptance. But not acceptance of staying. Acceptance that whatever happens next, you're not going back to pretending. The helicopter lands at dawn. You stand there with one choice. Risk everything and try to escape. Or stay and become like the others. You watch the guards. You watch the helicopter. You realize not everyone gets out. Most people don't. The island keeps its secrets. Keeps its prisoners. You don't know if this flight means freedom or something worse. But one thing is clear now. There's no real way out. Only waiting to see if you escape or disappear.